Hello, everyone. I'm going to get us going live on Facebook and then we will begin. Awesome. Welcome, Health Accelerator family. Excited to be back with you. I appreciate everyone's patience last week and just excited to be back, ready to go and talk about how we are going to make progress. We are headed into the last month of the first quarter of 2025. We are actually 9 days in. It's March 9th, and I could not be more proud of the progress and the consistency. We talk about accountability, we talk about motivation, and I think what we don't talk about quite enough is consistency. I say things all the time about trusting the process, about making sure we're doing a little bit better every day. But what I don't think we do enough of is bring that together and talk about consistency. So tonight we're going to talk about empowering yourself to progress. And how do we continue to make the progress, even though maybe we're not seeing the things we think we should be seeing? We're really focusing on celebrating the wins, trusting the process, and moving through those plateaus and moving through the frustrations because, again, it is not a linear process. As much as I would love for it to be, I'm going to share a little bit of my own journey, but I'm also going to share a couple stories of some other people that have been through the program and stayed consistent and really seen the overall outcome that we're really looking for. So what we really want to talk about is empowering yourself to progress, empowering yourself with the tools to get through the frustrations and break through those plateaus, because we all hit the plateaus sometimes, but consistency is key. When we talk about really making sure that we're making the progress we want to make, we have to look at the three pillars: the what we eat, what we think, and what we do. That's how we really focus, and we can say, hey, am I being consistent, and am I making the progress I want to make? Okay. So as you're watching, if you're watching live, give me a hashtag live in the chat. If you're watching the replay, just go ahead, drop a hashtag replay. Doesn't matter when you get the information, just as long as you are getting the information. We're getting the information by showing up consistently. Consistency is key. That's how we trust the process. We show up, we do the work when it comes to the what we eat, what we think, and what we do. So I want to share a little bit about the consistency that led to that losing 1 pound 113 times. When I talk about my journey, a lot of times people think, wow, you did that in 8 months and 3 days. That's so fast. And while it was, what we have to understand is there were times where the scale may have jumped back up a little bit, but then overall it came down. And so what we were looking at was the overall progress. And that's where it can get really frustrating sometimes, because I've been there. It's very frustrating when it feels like what you're doing, you haven't seen the scale move quite as much as you thought it would, or quite as much as you would like that it did. And that's why it's important to follow that 7-step process. The opt-in, which again, that's the consistency; the education, when we know better, we do better; the accountability, and the tracking, making sure we're tracking every single thing that we're eating when we're trying to make that progress, when we're trying to lose the weight quickly or gain the weight, whatever your goals are. If you have some strength goals, if you have weight loss goals, whatever those are, it's really important that you track the consistency. And when we talk about consistency and tracking, you can apply that to different aspects, different buckets. We talk about our buckets and how it's important to make sure that the buckets we are focusing on are the ones we've got: the health bucket, relationship bucket, career, finances, spiritual bucket, all of those. And so it's important when we talk about accountability and tracking, we're really looking at, am I being consistent and putting in the effort that I need to make the progress in whatever bucket that we're focusing on. I have my goals written on a whiteboard right in front of me. So when I'm sitting at my computer, I can see that whiteboard. I can see my big calendar of different events that I have coming up, different travel, those types of things, so that I know, hey, am I aligning with the goals that I'm setting for myself? Is my activity really reflecting me wanting to make the goals that I want to make? And so when we talk about the health goals, you think in terms of what we eat, what we think, and what we do. Am I maintaining a positive attitude? Am I maintaining that? And again, positive attitude does not mean we are super positive and overly excited all the time. What it means is we're trusting the process, we're trusting ourselves, and we are continuing to apply the principles to get where we want to go. So the what we think, am I maintaining a positive attitude? Am I doing my scripting? Am I doing my gratitude practice? Because what that does, that's going to naturally reduce your stress levels, which affect your weight as well, and your health, your overall health, the inflammation. The more stressed we are, the more we're getting those cortisol releases, and it's just contributing to internal inflammation. Then we think about, okay, is my activity, as far as physical activity, is that contributing to where I want to go? And then, is my food indicative of the goals that I want to reach? So when you're analyzing and tracking and you're going back, you're getting the education, you're applying the education, is that where it should be? And when you're planning out for the week, you're sitting there and you're planning, hey, this is what I need to do to achieve my goals, and make sure those are in alignment. And then when we talk about consistency, it's, let me look back at last week. Was I consistent overall in hitting my goals? Was my activity level consistent? And we can do this because we're tracking. And a lot of times it gets really frustrating because we feel like there's a lot of people out there that can do whatever they want and still reach their goals and still, but you have to understand, maybe that person doesn't have specific weight loss goals, or maybe that person doesn't have specific health goals. And a lot of times we feel like we're ostracizing ourselves, which can contribute to that getting mentally unfocused. Okay. When we shift, I want to shift gears really quickly and talk about Samantha. Okay. So Samantha worked with us a while ago, and she was very, very concerned that changing up the eating habits would push her son away. He was very particular about what he ate, and he was a preteen at the time. And she was really worried that it was going to affect and start to really create some drama and tension there. But what she found was just the opposite. She started taking care of herself, applying the what we eat, what we think, and what we do, going on walks, making sure that she was eating on plan. And then before you knew it, her son was asking to go on the walks with her. He was asking to eat the things she was eating. And so not only did it have a benefit on her, but because of the benefits and the effect that it had on her overall attitude, because she felt better, again, she was putting her best foot forward. Her son was seeing that. He saw the more positive environment, the happiness that she was exhibiting. And therefore, he started to want to do the things she wanted to do. We see this all the time. I see lots of videos out on YouTube and Instagram where there's a 2 or 3-year-old that's modeling the weightlifting moves that their parents are doing. And it's because when we're in an environment that's promoting the healthy choices, then we tend to want to fall in line with the healthy choices. And if you take that a little step further, when we talk about accountability, we show up to classes like this. We show up with our accountability partner. We show up with our coaching sessions. Why? Because it's putting us in an environment that's promoting those healthy choices. And when we can become that environment and that person that is the model for those healthy choices, that's when you start to feel the empowerment, when we're leading by example. And that's the 7th step of the system, is giving back. So when we can start to be that person, and you don't have to do it on a big scale, but if you can start to be that person where someone says the words, "You're glowing. Wow, you look so happy. Wow, what's going on? What are you doing?" Because something's a little bit different. They can tell the shift in the attitude and the perspective. And when we shift that perspective just a little bit, people are going to start to notice. And then that in turn is going to give you that feeling of empowerment, which is going to lead to you continuing to want to engage in the things that are getting that notice. But when we walk around and we say things like, "Well, I can't have that," or "I can't have this," or "Oh my gosh, you're lucky you can have that," that's when we start to have that negative impact, and we start to develop a little bit of resentment. But if we can just shift our language a little bit and start to say, "I have the opportunity to eat healthy. I have the opportunity to do the things I need to do to reach my goals. I have the capability." That's when we start to see that mindset shift. And you go from the "I can't" to "I have the opportunity," or "I get to do this. I get to wake up and drink my water. I get to wake up and go exercise. I get to wake up and make healthy choices throughout the day." I just had a conversation the other day with a fellow president of the networking group that I'm in. And there's several different chapters in the county, and we were meeting, and he made the comment, "Well, I have to do this. I have to leave after a certain point in one of the meetings that we had." And I said, "Oh no." I said, "You get to. You get to leave because you don't need to be involved in the rest of it." And it's just that little shift in perspective of the "I have to, so this is terrible," to "I get to, so this is exciting." And when we can make that shift, again, consistency becomes easier. It becomes simpler because it's I get to determine what I'm going to have that's going to help me reach my goals today. So when we talk about Samantha, she shifted her mindset and said, "I have the opportunity to set a great example for my kids." And she just dug in and started doing it. And before you knew it, the stress was gone because she wasn't driving a wedge. She, in fact, found the exact opposite. Imagine how empowering that felt for her to know that she was setting an amazing example for her son. to where he went from not wanting to come out of his room all that much to, hey, mom, I want to go on walks with you. Can I come with you? How exciting is that? And when you think in terms of doing it for someone else, it doesn't necessarily always produce the results we want to. And so it's just, listen, I get to set the example. I get to show up as the best version of myself so that I might inspire someone. And guess what? If you don't, it's okay, right? And I'm sure you are, whether you realize it or not, but it doesn't matter, because then you start to feel lighter. You start to feel less stressed. You start to be excited about the things you get to do. And so I challenge you, shift that mindset to, I have to eat this way, to, I have the opportunity to eat this way. I have the opportunity to fuel myself with foods that are going to help me reach my goals. Because then what's going to happen is you're going to start to crave those foods. The more you eat them, we crave what we eat. So the more you eat them, the more you're going to crave them. I crave green vegetables. And how did I do that? I changed my mindset around green vegetables when I first started Health Accelerator. Because when I first started talking to Catherine, it was like, hey, I don't like green vegetables. I don't like them. I'll eat them if I have to, but I don't like them. But what I started doing was writing down, I do love green vegetables. And then it became, wow, I get to incorporate these green vegetables into my meals. And so if you can just shift that mindset to from a mindset of lack to a mindset of abundance of choices, what am I going to eat today that's going to help me reach my goals? What do I get to eat today that's fresh, whole, real foods that's going to help me get to my goals? And when we can shift that perspective just a little bit, then it starts to become a habit. Because remember, behavior that receives attention is behavior that's repeated. And so when we're giving ourselves the opportunity to focus on what we get to do rather than what we have to do, it starts to become habit. So what I want you to do is take these last couple of minutes and I want you to write down the things that maybe you don't necessarily enjoy doing right now. Maybe that's eating on plan. Maybe you don't enjoy drinking your water. Maybe you don't enjoy the physical activity portion. Maybe you don't enjoy the scripting of it. What is something that you don't enjoy? And I want you to jot that down. And then I want you to rip it up. You don't have to burn it, but rip it up, throw it away. And then what I want you to do is I want you to start phrasing it in, I have the opportunity to eat the foods that get me moving toward my goals. I have the opportunity to make the choices that inspire others around me to lead healthier lives. I have the opportunity to drink the water. And we take for granted a lot of things that we have the opportunity for. It's just reality. The society we live in, we take for granted the fact that we have clean running water that we have at our disposal. But when we can really change our perspective, then we are empowered to really make the progress we want to make, because we're able to shift that perspective and keep a positive mindset about it. So I have the opportunity to drink all my water today. I have the opportunity to get my workout in today. I'm so excited that I get to work out today. I'm excited that I get to eat clean, whole foods that are on plan, and then I get to track them, and then I get to celebrate it as a win. You see how that all fits into the signature system. I get to do my scripting today. I get to do my gratitude practice today. These are the things I really want you to focus on this week is the I get to, not the I have to do this. I have to do that. I get to fill out my food log at night to see how amazing I did today. I get to fill out my food log so I can go back and learn what's working for me and what's not working for me so that I can make those adjustments. I get to show up for myself today. I get to show up for my family today. I get to show up as the best version of me today. And I think when we can make that one little perspective shift from the I get to, or from the I have to the I get to, that's when we really start to feel the feeling of empowerment because it puts it in our control. And that's also a form of accountability because at the end of the day, there's nothing you have to do. It's the opportunity that you're giving yourself to do it. And so take full advantage. It's just like if you're on a football field or baseball field, if you're a baseball fan, the Braves catcher just went out with an injury in spring training. And so their new up and coming prospect gets the opportunity to get the start. And he really might get the start on opening day. So he has the opportunity. It's just like we all know who Tom Brady is. The quarterback before him, Drew Bledsoe, went out with an injury, and Tom Brady said, he's not getting back out on that field. Sorry, this is my time. It's my opportunity. I get to do this now. I get to show up and show everyone what I have. And so when you think about that, when you just change it to, if Tom Brady had said, well, now I have to go fill in for him, I have to fill his shoes, I have to go be the quarterback today. Can you imagine if he had that mindset? But the mindset he had was, this is my opportunity. I get to go out there and show them that I'm the best person for this job. And so we've given ourselves the opportunity to show up for ourselves just by getting the education. And so now we just have to apply that knowledge. And it's the, hey, I get to do this for myself today. So that's what I want you to work on these last few minutes is changing those I have to mindset points to the I get to, or I have the opportunity to, however you want to phrase it, whatever makes more sense to you. I get to, I have the opportunity, I'm excited to. That's when you really know you've made it. When you're excited to get out of bed at 4:00 in the morning to go do your workout because you know you're going to have a better day if you do it. All right. I was not always excited to do that. I went from I have to set my alarm early to, okay, I'm going to do it because I feel better when I do it, to now it's, I'm doing it whether I want to or not. I'm excited that I get to get out of bed and go and do that. All right. So that's what I want you to work on. Drop the I get tos in the chat so that everyone else can see what you get to do and what you're working on so we can hold you accountable for them, but also cheer you on and give you a lot of recognition for it. We're going to celebrate our wins this week. We get to show up for each other. We get to show up for ourselves. We get to show up in the Facebook group to get feedback and get the recognition and congratulations and allow us to celebrate with you. And in the comments of the videos here on YouTube too. So whatever your mode of getting this information is, just drop a comment in the chat of what you get to do this week and what you're excited about doing this week so that we can continue to celebrate with you and give that attention, because behavior that receives attention is behavior that's repeated. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I love that I have the opportunity to show up for y'all and be able to share stories and educate so that we can continue to make progress. I'm excited about what all you get to do this week so you can continue to empower yourself to progress. I will see you back here next Sunday, 7 p.m. And in the meantime, I'll see you in the chat, on the Facebook group, in the YouTube channel. And I will also see you on text if you're in a program. If you are needing to get back into a coaching program because you just need a little bit more accountability, I am here for you. Reach out to me and we'll see what makes the most sense. But until then, I will see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.